So, lahat yung mga kagamitan dito mga kaitsabero ay original. So, ibig kong sabihin sa original, ito pa rin yung mga gamit nila noon. So, karamihan kasi ng mga bahay na napuntahan natin, mga museum, na inopen nila sa public, karamihan kasi ng mga gamit ng bahay ay hindi na original. Kumbaga, pinunulang nila yung bahay para magmukhang bahay. Kapag talaga naalagaan ng isang lumang bahay, kung hindi siya napabayaan, ganito yung magiging itsura niya.
We are in Miranila, Heritage House and Library. The first question is, what is Miranila? Miranila is a sobriquet or a connection of two words or three words, Mira a Manila, which means look at Manila. And there was a contest among the children who moved into this house. There were three. And the one who chose Miranila won. That was Helena. Because in 1934, August 14, I believe, she was upstairs in the third floor and she saw what she thought was Manila burning. So she called to her two brothers and she said, Mira a Manila, you know, come up here, Mira a Manila, come and look at Manila. And it was actually Ateneo de Manila in Intramuros burning. So it burned and they moved to Padre Faura and subsequently in the 50s they moved to Loyola Heights. So the name Mira a Manila did not stick. What stuck was Miranila. And so she won the contest among the children to call this. So it's ever since then been Miranila. So the family that moved into this house was Conrado and Francisca. They're here. That's why we start in the chapel. Their ashes are here with us. That's Conrado and that's Francisca. And they moved here in 1932. They built the house in 1929 and moved here with their three children. Helena was the eldest, and then Tomas was the middle child, and then Alfredo. So three of them moved here. Tomas was my father. And so we grew up coming every day, Monday to Friday, to say good morning to our grandparents. You know how Filipino traditions are. We were given off Saturday and Sunday. But every morning we would come here. And when Helena passed away in 2017, she had formed much earlier in 2005 a foundation that would take care of Miranila when she passed away. I just wanted to show you in sometime early 2011, Helena wanted to try to get the house with a plaque of the NHCP, National Historical Commission of the Philippines, because that way it would preserve the house. When she would go, when she passed away, nobody could touch the house and change it more than 30%. So indeed, it's really remained the way it was, except for a little walk-in closet that we made into a small bathroom. That was all the change we did. So I interviewed her, I made it into a letter, and then we sent it to the NHCP. And in 2 weeks, they agreed. And they said it was the fastest. Dr. Jaime Laya told me it's the fastest ever na na-approve dahil yung witness, yung primary witness, she experienced all of the things that she relayed. No? It was first-hand experience. So we're very lucky to have this. And it also sends a message to our clan that we have something that we can be proud of and we have to preserve.
Okay, so we're going inside the house.
Origins.
Very nice,
okay.
mga kaitsubero. So, ang grandeng bahay ito.
Can you hold this book?
Oh.
I'll take a picture.
Oh my goodness.
No, this is very
You have a book?
Very nice.
Of course we do
Oh
have
my
it.
God,
we
that's so
are.
nice. Okay, so the first of the three ladies I speak about is Soledad Francia. She was from Pagsanghan and she married Higinio Benitez, who is up there in his legal robes. So Soledad Francia came from an ilustrado elite family in Pagsanghan, and she was much younger than her husband to be. So one of the caveats for that marriage would be that Higinio Benitez, who was a lawyer, and this was his second marriage, that he had to move to Pagsanghan. So my family, when we're asked, where are you from, we say we're from Pagsanghan, Laguna, because of the union of these two.
Do you come from?
She's my great-grandmother, and this was painted after an original of Antonio Malantic, who was a leading mid-19th century master painter, and they called them the miniaturismo painters. Not because they make miniatures like they do in Europe, but because they would do the calado of the Barong Tagalog, the calado of the Barot Saya, the Maria Clara, in a very detailed way. And many of these painters would go around with stacks of paintings without faces, and they would fill them in. They would fill them in. That was the time when the Suez Canal opened in the mid-19th century, and a lot of families were coming up, in life. And when you have that in different capitals around the world, what do you do when you have a family that you want to remember? You have your portraits done. So that's the same in the Philippines. Elite families started having their portraits done, and Antonio Malantic was the leading painter. So they had 5 done because Antonio Malantic moved to the Francia house in Pagsanghan, stayed there for 5 months and painted her father, her mother, her brother, and then herself and a sister. Because of the strafing and the bombing of during the retaking of Manila, Pagsanghan was destroyed, or at least in front. The church and their house was very close to the church. And Francisca in the 1930s and Francisca in the 1970s, she was the daughter-in-law, and she was the one who built this house together with her husband, Conrado. Francisca was president of Women's for 45 years. She was the actually second president of PWU. She co-founded PWU with 6 other women, and the first president was Paz Marquez Benitez. Very proud of her. She was used by Google, I think 2 days ago on their, when you open Google, yung picture, they used her because her writing in English was, it's all in the anthologies of Philippine anthology. So this is what we call the library. And you pass by 3 kinds of furniture that's in the house. The original, which were from Pagsanghan, from Pakil, Nagcarlan, Paete, the ones in the center, including this love seat over there. These ones here are from the old Bilibid prison. When they moved here, at that time, Manolo Quezon, the grandson of Manuel Quezon, said, if you wanted a good type of furniture, you would go to the old Bilibid prison on Oroquieta Street in Manila. And Jose Abad Santos, who was the Secretary of Justice, did many reforms in the old Bilibid prison. Firstly, he took away the women and he put them in a penitentiary for women here in Mandaluyong, close to the mental hospital. Maganda yung park nila noon eh. Ngayon medyo marami ng informal.
It's still there.
It's still there. A lot of informal settlers. The second reform he did, which was very important, was he introduced master carpenters to the penitentiary. So they did this kind of torno. Ito yung kanilang parang signature motif. And of course, they did it all of hardwood. Now, Conrado and Francisca purposely did this to house the books of Higinio. They're all in Spanish or Latin, and they are his diccionarios, his encyclopedias, his travel books that traveled with them from Pagsanghan to Peña Francia Street in Paco to here. Kaya pati yung middle part, lahat yan pinagawa nila sa, probably ito galing sa Pakil or Paite or Nagcarlan, ito galing sa Oroquieta Street. Ngayon, yung Manila Jail is what was left behind when they moved the old Bilibid prison to the new Bilibid prison site in Muntinlupa. That remains the Manila Jail. And I doubt very much whether they actually do carpentry work still.
So that the cabinet was used in an office or in the
No, it was built for this space.
Oh.
To
but I thought
house.
something came from the Bilibid.
Yeah, all of this.
Carpenters.
The carpenters were old Bilibid prisoners.
Galing nila, no?
Magaling sila talaga. At saka makikita nyo yung torno or salamonica, which is reflected on the pillars outside. You can see.
Ganito.
And reflected also on the bars, you know, the bars that are like this, twisted. So there is some sort of harmony in the design of the house.
Grabe yung detail.
May detail sila, oo. And I think that also had to do with Gregorio Paredes, the architect, because he really was an interior designer. Okay, Higinio Benitez, the first of the three men I'll speak about. Higinio Benitez married Soledad Francia. He had this painted in 1899 when he was assigned to be a judge in the circuit courts. He was assigned to work in Zamboanga, in Cebu. So he was itinerant, whereas his wife and his family stayed on in Pagsanghan. He had this painted in 1899 when he took his oath as a judge, and proudly so, wearing his, sabi sa akin ni Ambeth Ocampo, yan yung robes ng, ng mga graduates from law sa UST. I have to do some research. This was painted by another famous painter in the late 19th naman. This was painted 1899 by Simon Flores. So Simon Flores, this is the biggest Simon Flores, I was told. They've not found anything bigger than this. And pretty soon we will have to have it restored or conserved. May blossoming nangyayari.
This is an original. This is the
Yeah, this is the original. Unlike the other one with a copy. Yeah, this is the original. And the second man I speak about is a son, one of the three sons of Higinio. His name is Conrado. Yes, he was the one who built this house together with Francisca. So he's the father of Helena. And Conrado was a member of, well, the reason I'm putting the three together is because they were all members of the constitutional conventions at various times in the Philippines. This was the 1898 Malolos Constitution. He was a signer, and he was a representative from Laguna.
35 Constitution.
Yes, exactly. Conrado was a representative of Laguna for the 1935 Constitution, the convention in 34. But he was not only a signer, he was one of the drafters of the Constitution. He was one of the 7 wise men. Ito sila.
7 wise men.
Yes, his specialty was business and economics. Those were the 7 wise men who drafted. Well, our 35 Constitution was roughly based on the U.S. Constitution. So that in 1972, another constitutional convention was held. Transoms, the windows, that's very Masonic, if you can see, the compass, the symbolism. So yun ang touches of Art Deco, and the bathrooms. So if you pass through the bathroom here, makikita nyo Art Deco yung banyo nila.
Art Deco ang
Oo.
bathroom.
Yeah, this is Helena's Girl Scouts. She loved the Girl Scouts.
Girl Scouts pauso dati.
Yeah. Sinong nag-Girl Scouts dito? Nag-Girl Scouts ba kayo?
Taas sa mga kamay, yung mga nag-Girl Scout, Boy Scout.
God, country, and home, di ba? Community over, country over self. Ganon.
Yeah, I was right. It's called a pet.
This is Justiniano Asuncion. He was one of the leading
Asuncion, yes, that's right. Yes.
illustrators.
The mirror again.
Yes, it's the Venetian mirrors. Okay, so please have a look at, this was our pantry before, it's now a men's room, because this is really
May
where the
wagang
public
salamin.
would meet.
Oh, this is the old bathroom.
Importante talaga.
The original floor was upstairs, and you will see their wide nara in between darker hardwood. So parang that's more traditional. Ito mga pinaltan na.
Okay.
Nag-rot na sila. But it is still, that's still hardwood. Okay, so we see 3 paintings here. I teach at UP Art History. So here you briefly see a development of modern art. One of the fathers of modernism in the Philippines, his name was Diosdado Lorenzo. He came to this country. Do you remember him? Yes, yes. So he came in 1934 to the Philippines with his Italian wife. And they settled in Manila. Francisca Tirona and her sisters helped him buy a house, I think in Singalong. It's still there. So to thank them, Diosdado Lorenzo painted this double portrait of Francisca and Alfredo, the one with a heart problem. So here you see him in a wheelchair. And this was in Miranila.
How long did he live?
He lived till 1945, 45. He had 4 kids. I mean, he was still married. I mean, he got married, he had 4 kids.
So he couldn't be.
Over there, you have Fernando Amorsolo, who painted, yes, in 1957, seeing
This one.
Helena, based on a photo, but she did some sittings. And she's wearing her favorite pink. That was her campaign. Yeah, it is. She's wearing her favorite pink. And that was her campaign colors as well. Parang si Lenny, di ba? And at that time, UP was the bastion of conservatism. Fernando Amorsolo and Guillermo Tolentino, our national artists for sculpture, were teachers there, and they taught the classical way. Whereas UST, where Victorio Edades and Diosdado Lorenzo were teachers, was the bastion of modernism. So there was a lot of writing publicly, against modernism. 10 years later, this is 57, that's 67, Helena met a painter in Paris. His name was Macario Vitalis, and he was painting out of Brittany. And he was invited back to come and have an exhibition sa PWU and the National Library. And he painted that for her. He would stay here when he would come and visit. They finally moved here, he and his wife, meaning to Manila.
So ito yung mga tinatawag na sulihiya chair. Ayan. So kung makikita nyo yung mga lumang sulihiya noon, malalaki yung yung butas. Ngayon kasi yung mga bagong sulihiya, maliliit na lang. Yan like this one This is new. Ba, maliliit.
Malinis.
Kasi the original one is malalaki. This That. Oh, look at this. Rectangular box stands containing silver souvenir, teaspoons, and teaspoons from foreign cities. Naman papunta tayo sa taas. Okay. So ang engranding stairs na naman. Grabe, no? So, kapag talaga naalagaan ng isang lumang bahay, kung hindi siya napabayaan, ganito yung magiging itsura niya. So, kita nyo, kahit napakatagal na ng bahay, 1929, pero napaka ganda pa din. Okay, so eto bago na to. Nilagyan na nila ng glass door. Ayan.
They built a new house after the war.
So ito yung sinasabi mo na original.
Yung original. So makikita mo may hardwood na sa
Wow.
Nara. I don't know what this is.
So, all books na yung makikita natin dito, no?
So ito yung reading room na tawag namin.
Oh, reading room.
Distinguished from downstairs, the library.
Now, was there always glass there or is that?
No, this is all new because we had this air conditioned.
Okay, so ito yung tinatawag na butaka.
So it would have been an open.
Sa salitang bukaka daw.
This was the private lives, private space of the family. This is where they would have their breakfast, their lunch. They would meet their public downstairs and their
Oh.
friends. Pero dito sila, living space nila. Yan yung desk ni Conrado. Yes, we have a small collection of art and I selected a few to just also tell you about the development of Philippine painting. This one, I found sa likod ng door doon. It's by Fabian de la Rosa.
Okay.
Fabian de la Rosa was the first Filipino dean of the College of Fine Arts sa UP. He was the mentor for Fernando and Pablo Amorsolo. When they were orphaned, they came to live with Fabian de la Rosa.
Yung painting.
And so he schooled them, and this is back and forth. Sa harapan, nakasulat Portrait of Mang Moneng sa harapan. Tapos sa likod, it shows you a man in khaki. You know, khaki was invented for the Philippines kasi masyadong mainit yung mga... yes, during World War II. Like Colt 45 was invented.
Yes, we know that.
For the
To stop-
Juramentados.
to stop the,
But
the
khaki.
Muslim coming
Yeah.
here.
Khaki was also, and then I think it was adopted by the Brits because they were saying the British invented it for their Indian
Yes.
troops, no? But I read somewhere, actually the Americans were the ones who really
Because if you look
invented
at
it.
pictures, the English soldiers wore khaki.
Yes,
British
yes,
India.
because British India. Here, you have somebody wearing khaki and carrying a long weapon, probably for hunting birds. So I'm thinking, baka nasa Diliman sila, di ba? Diliman is madilim eh, di ba? Kaya tawag doon Diliman. Oo. So he was...
Original chairs then.
Yes, yes, to go with this.
Wow.
To go with this. I put the little memorabilia of Helena, all her different associations. She was a member of various different organizations or founding member. So nilagay ko dyan. Mga pins niya, ganun. This bedroom. And then this is the master bedroom. And then the two other bedrooms belong to their sons.
Sorry, this is Helena's bedroom.
Yes.
And then,
This is the master bedroom. And then the two bedrooms there were the two brothers.
So, ito yung master's bedroom.
Oo.
Can I go in?
Yes, of course. This is the Quezon corner, devoted to Quezon and his family. These are letters of Maria Aurora, or Baby Quezon, to Helena from 1935 to 37. I just took snippets because she had just moved into to Malacanang. She was like the first daughter, the oldest daughter.
Yes.
And it's her observations of Malacanang and life as the daughter of the President of the Commonwealth. Interesting. So she writes to Helena. Atay bed, oo. They have atay couches, but atay beds. And the parang symbol, the iconic piece would be the half squash and the grapes. Calabasa and the grapes. So this was Francisca's bed, this was Conrado's bed. On her last week of life, Imelda Marcos came to say goodbye to her because she felt very close to both of them. She was a scholar of Conrado at PWU School of Music, College of Music. She was under the tutelage of Lucrecia Casilag. And she wanted to say goodbye. And then she saw the atay bed. So she asked Aling Biring in Little Baguio to make
Atay
10 of
bed.
these. So they made 10 of these. And you see them now in Leyte, I think. In the Malacanang of the Visayas. I don't know what they call it. There's Malacanang of the North. There's Malacanang of the South. So
Sa
they
bahay
have...
ni Quezon, yung kama niya, itong kalabasa malaki.
Ah, okay. So that's an atay bed.
Sa
Atay
Quezon
bed
House.
yun.
Oo.
Oo.
You should go and see
Original. I went when they first opened. Wala pang masyadong furniture. Yung original furniture from the Quezons were there. Very few. Pero ngayon marami na silang nilagay. No, I would certainly love to see it.
Daming butas na from the Colombo.
Oo nga. Ay, yes.
Ay,
Well,
oo nga.
unfortunately, that's also termite.
That's termite ba?
Oo.
Ay, hindi ba yan sa Colombo?
Noon?
Anong year po yan?
This is from the 60s. Ay,
Look at the electric fan, Mio.
ay. Hindi
Double.
gumagana.
Of that age, no? Of this time.
Yeah, it's still working.
I know.
60s, yeah, 50s kaya. Gumagana pa eh.
50s, 60s, something.
Yung, very 50s.
It's working, yeah.
This is locally made?
No, that's Tiffany.
At least I told her,
Yeah,
gusto niya locally made.
Wait, no. Look alike. Because I'm not sure whether it's real Tiffany. Well, you know, as an art historian, I cannot claim what it is when I'm not really absolutely sure.
Tiffany inspired.
Yeah.
Galing sa antique root house.
Yeah, you should take it to the antique road out.
Oh, ganun ba
Very
yun?
nice.
They will evaluate your piece.
And
They
then
will
sell it for you.
They will determine where it came from, who made it.
Oh, really?
Yes, the provenance of it, and then they will tell you how much it would sell.
If you want to
if
sell
you want
it.
to sell it. But this
That's
program
useful.
is a
So when Ferdinand Marcos Sr. came, he saw the himbabao tree here and he was so happy. Irene said he can have that breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He's a true Ilocano.
Himbabao?
Himbabao. Iba ang tawag sa Ilocos eh. They call it something else.
Something else, pero himbabao ang
Oo,
tawag
we have
nila.
2 himbabao trees here.
Okay, so ito naman yung bathroom dito sa master's bedroom. Makyat.
If you have needs
May I?
to go upstairs,
May I?
Okay, so akyat daw tayo sideways para mas madali. Oo nga naman.
kasi mabagal ka. Kaya ako, and come down sidewards also. Okay. Kaya ba niya? Kaya ba niya?
Okay mga Jiberos, so meron pa palang taas. Akyat pa tayo.
Naku,
Kaya pa natin. Oh, kaya. Wow. Grabe, ang ganda naman dito mga kaichubero. So ulitin ko lang, ito na yung tower mismo. And makikita nyo, napaka-presko dito sa itaas ng tower. And mahangin. Tapos ito yung view natin mula dito sa torre. Ito yung, yan yung entrance. Ano? Nice. Kaya liga na, baba na tayo. So, pupunta tayo sa isang bedroom.
Oo, normal. More than normal. Dami questions. Okay. Pakipasok lang si sir. This is still functional.
Are they?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh.
All the books are here.
Is that mean now Dewey, whatever they call
Louis
it?
Decimal.
system.
Louis Decimal system.
Are you kidding?
It's still functional, but we
Nakakatuwa.
also have it online.
Okay.
So our 4,500 books are in there
Oh my
and
lord.
online as
So
well.
this is how we would research before using the card catalog to find the book using the Dewey Decimal System.
Buti na lang, di ko naabutan yan.
When I Google. And
You're
this is
Dewey
what,
Decimal.
assembly
I know. Parang hirap.
where sa Batasan, when they would open the Batasan, they would all come marching in their Filipino attire. and
Kasi
all of
Open
them
Congress. or
Open
ano.
Congress using that. Each one represents a province. There's 60.
Oh, wow.
Here. Yeah.
Alam mo, they don't wear this anymore.
I think so.
They don't.
Because,
Wala, it's not tradition na. It's usually a fashion show na lang.
or sa mga museum na lang. Ito.
Itong bedroom ni Helena, she moved here when she was 15 years old.
Oh, okay.
And she died in this house at 102.
But she never moved bedrooms.
She did. When her parents died, she moved into their room because it was
Oo,
hers.
okay.
Yeah. And then she left this for guests. But the only thing that always stayed in this room was that portrait of her by Anita Magsaysay Ho.
Oh, this
who
one.
was her classmate
Kay Anita yan?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anita was her classmate at Women's, and Anita was taking fine arts on the side, lessons in UP Padre Faura, College of Fine Arts. Ito, nilagay ko lahat ng mga pictures ng pamilya para pag meron ako mga nieces and nephews or grandnieces, they visit, they have ownership, di ba? Pag
Yeah.
meron silang pictures dito.
Totoo.
Kaya masaya naman sila na kaunti pag nakikita nila yung sarili nila dyan.
Ano pong tawag?
From the naive.
Naive.
Primitive paintings from the primitive style, naive style from the 19th, 18th century collection ni Helena. Naglagay ako ng 3 lang dyan.
Ang galing. Ito pala yung tinatawag na naive painting.
Naive paintings natin.
Nice.
Is that supposed to be Thomas Aquinas?
Naive painting. Okay, pababa na tayo mga kaitsubero. So grabe no. Medyo mahaba-haba itong vlog natin.
Parang custom built for your hand. Industrial, which is, yeah, it's not. That's like solar opposites. But you can find it in Yes. But I don't remember that particular. There were so many Gaudi sites that particular shoes. And so welcome to the large dining room of Manila. Large kasi lumaki na yung pamilya namin.